The U.S. government says nearly 3 million Jeeps produced by Chrysler are a deadly fire hazard, but tonight the company is taking a rare step, refusing to recall those vehicles. Over 100,000 Jeep SUVs are being recalled over a fire risk. The NHTSA reports there were 37 rear impact crashes and fires involving the two models, crashes that caused at least 51 deaths. There's a fire risk advisory for those plug-in hybrid Jeep models, with 13 fires occurring while the cars were parked and off. Now, 154,000 Jeep PHEVs are being recalled, but this isn't just about fires, it's about a brand on the brink. Let's look at how this recall might become the final nail in Jeep's coffin. This isn't a small hiccup. We're talking about 154,000 vehicles, a lot of Jeeps that could turn into fire hazards at any moment. These are the fancy hybrid models, the ones that were supposed to demonstrate how Jeep is keeping up with the times. But this recall isn't just about fixing faulty wires, it's about a brand that's burning down with its cars. Jeep used to symbolize tough, reliable rides, but now they're making cars that might catch fire while sitting in your driveway. This isn't just a recall, it's a full-blown identity crisis. Imagine the experience of saving up, researching, and finally buying that shiny new Jeep, only to get news that your $54,000 investment might turn into a bonfire. Plus, the guidance to avoid parking it in your garage? Talk about a buzzkill. This issue impacts not only current Jeep owners but also anyone considering buying a Jeep. Trust is everything in the car world, and once it's gone, it's hard to regain. Right now, Jeep's trust is burning faster than one of their hybrid models. This recall isn't an isolated event. It's part of a pattern that erodes Jeep's reputation with every incident, making it hard for the brand to maintain its long-standing identity. Adding to this crisis is the rising cost of Jeeps. The average price of a new Jeep has climbed from $39,000 to over $54,000, creating a major financial leap for buyers. Higher prices usually mean higher expectations, but with the current reliability issues, budget-conscious buyers are turning away. Jeep, once the everyman's off-road warrior, is now trying to play in the luxury market, yet alienating its core fanbase without fully winning over the high-end crowd. This price hike isn't just hurting sales, it's changing Jeep's entire identity. A $54,000 price tag brings expectations of near perfection, leaving little room for error. At this price point, buyers might opt for luxury cars with fewer issues, reliable budget-friendly options, or even a used car, all alternatives that don't involve the risk of a fire in their driveway. Vacation, and none of these options come with the added bonus of potential spontaneous combustion. But here's the real kicker. Jeep isn't just recalling cars, they're recalling trust, and that's something no discount can fix. Every time a Jeep owner hears about another recall or sees their neighbor's driveway Jeep barbecue, that $54,000 investment starts to look worse and worse. This isn't just about losing a sale here or there. It's about losing a generation of Jeep enthusiasts. The folks who grew up dreaming of owning a Wrangler are now looking at other options, and once they switch brands, getting them back is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It just makes things worse. So, what's Jeep's next move? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Lower prices might bring back some buyers, but it won't fix the reliability issues. Keep prices high, and they risk pricing themselves right out of their own market. It's like they're playing a game of automotive Jenga, and this recall just pulled out the bottom block. And let's not forget, this isn't happening in a vacuum. The entire auto industry is watching. If Jeep can't figure out how to balance quality, reliability, and price, it sends a message to every other manufacturer out there. It's not just about making cars anymore. It's about making cars that people can trust at a price they can afford. Think this is just about Jeep? Think again. This recall could set off a chain reaction that shakes the entire auto industry. You see, Jeep's troubles are part of a much bigger story. Stellantis, Jeep's parent company, is facing a perfect storm of challenges that could spell disaster, not just for one brand but for a whole automotive empire. Let's zoom out for a second. Stellantis isn't just dealing with Jeep's fiery problems. They're watching sales numbers drop faster than a Wrangler's fuel gauge on an off-road adventure, and quality concerns are popping up like weeds in a neglected garden. It's not just one model or one brand, it's a company-wide crisis. But wait, there's more. Remember that UAW strike? It's not over, folks. The pressure from labor negotiations is still squeezing Stellantis like a vice. We're talking potential factory closures and production halts, and let me tell you, when the assembly lines stop, the money stops flowing too. It's like Jeep is playing a game of Jenga, And this recall just pulled out the bottom block. The whole tower is wobbling, and everyone's holding their breath, waiting to see if it'll come crashing down. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Stellantis has already slashed its earnings expectations in half. That's not a minor adjustment, that's a full-on financial panic attack. And when a company this big starts to sweat, the whole industry feels the heat. Think about it. If Stellantis can't figure out how to make hybrid vehicles that don't catch fire, what does that mean for the rest of the auto world? Every manufacturer out there is watching this unfold, wondering if they're next. It's like a game of automotive hot potato, and nobody wants to get burned. And let's not forget about the consumer. Every time a story like this hits the news, it chips away at people's trust in hybrid and electric vehicles. Jeep was supposed to be leading the charge into a greener future. Instead, they're giving people second thoughts about plugging in their cars at night. This isn't just about one brand's reputation anymore. It's about the entire industry's push towards electrification. If people start associating hybrid and electric vehicles with fire hazards, it could set the whole movement back years. That's not just bad for business, it's bad for the planet. So, what's next? Well, that's the million-dollar question, or should I say the billion-dollar question, because that's what's at stake here. Stellantis is at a crossroads. They can either figure out how to fix these problems fast, or they might find themselves on the wrong side of automotive history. And here's the kicker. This isn't happening in a vacuum. The entire auto industry is watching, learning, and probably sweating a little because if a giant like Stellantis can stumble this badly, it sends a message to every other manufacturer out there.